On and about the 26th of May 2025, breaking news was the headline of the day. We were told about a 30-year-old journalist student who was studying at Wits. Upon accomplishing or completing her studies at Wits, she went down to Rhodes University. That is where she was completing her studies. It was then reported that she was found murdered. The name of this young lady is Olerato Mal, and I'm saying it correctly, and I'm not missing anything. It's Olerato Mal, a 30-year-old who we are told that she was picked up by an alleged boyfriend, or a man that would have been later on become a boyfriend. This person picks this lady up, but 2 hours later, this lady is found dead and dumped at Lombard East. This then has caused a lot of questions. I'm also confused. Yet at some point, I do think that there's more to the story than what meets the eye. And the reason I'm saying there's more to the story than what meets the eye, it is because it cannot be that you pick up a person for a date, and 2 hours later, that person is murdered. Now, upon a bit of digging, police actually looked at the car. They said the man that picked this lady for this alleged date, he went by the name of John. This John picked this lady on a vehicle that was dropped, which is a Polo. But this same vehicle used cloned number plates. The number plates that this person used belongs to a Toyota Hilux. Then the number plate are as follows: LT57JGGP. So he cloned these numbers, put these numbers, which is a criminal offense, to use false identity in your vehicle, to use wrong number plates. It's a criminal offense. So right there, it tells me that from the beginning, the intention was wrong from this man. And apparently, so far, we haven't found any pictures where we can somehow, or when I say we, I mean as a country, police have not provided anything, families have not provided anything, and there's nobody that has provided any valuable information that we hope for. But just by the mere fact that in my introduction I say she's picked up, let's say at 12 o'clock p.m. 2 o'clock p.m. she's found dead. That alone tells us that the motive was never about a date. Hence I say, this story leaves a lot to be desired. It cannot be that 2 hours later she's found dead. There is everything wrong with the motive of or about the date. Now everything is now inverted commas, because I don't necessarily believe that this woman was picked up for a date. I think this woman was targeted. There is an ulterior motive. It doesn't make any logical sense. And before I go anywhere further, if I'm attracted to you as a female, you know that if I'm saying we are going on a date, and I speak this as a man, if I'm saying we are going on a date, we will go on a date to decide or to see whether we can make a relationship or not. At that moment, there's attraction. Since we've been communicating, chances are I've been seeing your pictures and your videos. I already know what to expect from you. Not entirely, but I already know what to expect from you. So, it will make sense to me if this was a blind date. Then I will say maybe I got disgusted by what I saw. But even then, why don't you then bring this person back? Even you are allowed to say, I don't want this date anymore. You are allowed. So when you look at this, the more you think about it, it's the more you actually realize that there should be an ulterior motive. And what makes matters worse is the fact that this person, the positioning of everything here, you can just tell that this person did not want to be seen. That's number one. Two, you can tell that this person did not want to be identified because they used wrong number plates. That right there screams red flags. And I'm not saying the lady should have known that the number plates are cloned. I myself, I don't know when a number plate is cloned or not unless a system tells me that no, the number plate is wrong. So I don't even have that system for that matter. So I'm not blaming the lady in this instance, not at all. But I'm looking at the guy and I'm saying to myself, to me, I'm a man born under sin, subject to correction. But to me, where I'm seated, this looks like there was never a date here, but there was an ulterior motive to get this person to my comfort, and we will finish with him. Then it leads me to the following: if there was an ulterior motive, what would have prompted these people to do so to this young lady? And now we are told she was studying journalism. Maybe this is me. I'm a man born under sin, subject to correction. That's what we call it, practicals at school. And there's one thing that comes to my mind. The other one that does is secondary. But the first one, to me, I'm asking myself a question. Did she not maybe come across an information or stumble on an information that was a threat to somebody else? Because she was a journalist. She was just completing everything. Was she not working on something? Was she not involved in maybe or on a specific project that belongs to a specific media house? These are the questions that I'm having right now. Looking at her profession, it tells me there's something more here. There's more than what meets the eye. I want to know. But I wouldn't know, at least for now, until the family brief the media and tell us those things. But I would love to know if she was not working on a specific project. Because there's no justification why you picked up a person and 2 hours later, that person is normal. It just doesn't make any logical sense. There's absolutely no logic in that. Even if it has never happened to me, but just a natural instinct. If I, as a man, most, there are these women, when you are from the back, you're following her, you're looking at how she's shaped. And I'm just being honest here. So you're looking at how she's shaped, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to say something to this woman. But when you look at the face, maybe it's not what you would have loved. Even then, there's nothing that says to you, you must take her life. There's no offense in that thing. It's just that you happen not to love what you see. I'm just thinking deeper on this to say, even if this was a blind date, you did not like what you see, what would have prompted you to take her life, especially after 2 hours? To me, it just says there's something deeper here. There's something deeper here. Again, at this moment, because we don't know anything, we don't know whether it's her life catching up with her. Maybe there are people she crossed in the past. We just don't know. We don't know. Maybe it's family related. We don't know. We don't know whether it is ex-boyfriend that disguised as something else, a boyfriend that she dumped. We just don't know at this moment, because those could only be a reason why. Other than that, I just don't see, and I cannot imagine. I cannot. I'm trying to think of it as just a coincidental, but it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. There's no one out in generally, there's no one that can just take your life 2 hours after a date, even if they spend their money. We have seen it with people, when they buy each other alcohol, because I'm not an alcohol consumer. I wouldn't know. I only drink the prescribed wine by the doctor, which is the lowest of the lowest of the lowest in terms of percentage. And even that, I drink that occasionally when my medical condition requires that, then I will drink that. So I'm not a drinker, so I wouldn't know what people or what happened. But we hear that people buy each other alcohol, and when it's time for one another, when it's time to travel with the person you've been buying alcohol for, and ladies tends to disappear or come up with some shady stories. But even then, we have never heard of a person being killed because of that. Even if it happened, it's not something that happens at a high rate. But in this case, I organize a date. 2 hours later, I take somebody's life. What? Not to mention the fact that not long ago, one journalist and her partner was found dead. This thing that is happening, man, that we are not being told, but there's something here. There's something deeper. I also read comments about this. Somebody was saying Lombard East is a place, and I just don't want to. I don't want to be told that, oh yes, I found this thing. Somebody was saying, and Lombard is dominated by foreign nationals, if you don't know what I mean. So I find it very strange. Find it very weird. I find it very weird. What about you? Tell me something, man. The story. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the police. I'm not blaming the lady. But I'm still trying to find out, why would you take a life of a person like this? No, there's got to be something more than this. There's got to be more reasons. I just cannot fathom. I just cannot reconcile this idea of two individuals that goes into a date and this other one takes the life of the other one. Why? 2 hours later, why? Give me your thought and your opinion about this story in the comment section below. I am very much interested to hear your thoughts and your opinion. What do you think happened here? And I will also ask you that this is important, that you also work with the police. It will be very nice to see the police cracking this case. I will be pleased. I cannot wait to hear that the man who did this has been found. I'm interested. By God's grace, he confessed and tell us what happened, because this doesn't look normal. It doesn't look ordinary. People will fight each other on the road. road rage that can result in fatality, it makes sense. Families, we are accustomed to that. Families fighting each other, taking each other's life. Partners, children fighting, taking the life of their parents because of inheritance. We are accustomed to all of that. But a date that 2 hours later turns to a death of somebody else, hey, it's strange.